Hello, my fellow seekers. Welcome to Into the Work, therapy for empaths, seekers, and the intuitively driven, where you have front row seats to therapy sessions and expert interviews that will help you define the important work that you're here to do. So I guess you actually have something better than front row seats. You practically have a seat on my couch. That's right, you will have unrestricted access to actual sessions with real people, exploring real life issues. You will continue to be inspired by powerful conversations with experts and healers that might just share exactly what it is that you need to hear to get unstuck. I am Michelle Poverman. I am a recovering people pleaser and former anxiety-driven empath, turned now mostly grounded psychotherapist and intuitive coach. I have been helping people for almost 20 years manage their limiting beliefs and anxiety to finally stop the self-sabotage and step into their gifts. I created this podcast, Into the Work, to give you a place to learn more about yourself and give you actionable strategies to finally move those roadblocks holding you back so you can go for what you want. Above all else, my hope is that this podcast is a catalyst for your awakening. If you're listening, you've already taken a step towards getting off of autopilot, and our next steps together will be taken episode by episode, waking you up to the possibilities, the new ways of thinking and being, so that you can stretch into that next level of your story. The spark has already been lit, and my friend, this is a journey from spark to brilliance. So together, let's light a fire. Welcome back to Into the Work, therapy for empaths and seekers. I'm Michelle Poverman, and today we're diving into the topic, not only foundational, but really completely transformative for you, empaths, intuitives, seekers, sensitive types. We need to understand what energy hygiene is. This is your spiritual immune system, and we are going to dive in and talk about how you have been taught to brush your teeth. You've been taught to wash your hands, eat your vegetables, but when you were growing up, no one probably ever truly talked to you about how to cleanse your energy and how to maintain your spiritual immune system. And I just want to say, if you are someone that's like, actually, I did learn that, I had hippie parents, they were amazing, and they taught me all these things. That is amazing and so wonderful. And that's what we all have needed our whole lives. This episode is your deep cleanse, your reset, your permission slip to stop carrying what is not yours and reconnect with what is. So let's get into it. So why energy hygiene matters. So what exactly is energy hygiene? So it's the intentional practice, of clearing, protecting, and restoring your energy body, your aura, your chakras, your emotional field, so you don't carry around the psychic equivalent of other people's dirty laundry, right? And if you're an empath, your energy field is likely very spongy. Right? You walk into a room, you feel tension, even if no one says a word. You scroll social media for 2 minutes and suddenly you're anxious, overwhelmed, drained, exhausted. This isn't a flaw. It's a gift. Your sensitivity is a superpower, but only if you know how to manage it. When you don't have good energy hygiene, here's what can happen. You're constantly tired, no matter how much sleep you get. Your mood changes rapidly, and you can't always trace why. You struggle to separate your feelings from somebody else's. You're disconnected from yourself. You feel disconnected. You feel like you're having a hard time getting in touch with your intuition. You certainly can find that you're having a hard time getting in touch with your joy. And in general, you can have these kind of repeating physical health issues as well, because our physical body is part of our energy body and it holds so much. And so we can have these reoccurring, bizarre physical symptoms that nobody can tie to anything, right? Which is so frustrating because I've been there when nobody can tell you what's wrong with you, and yet there's something wrong with you. And I'm not saying that I'm not diagnosing anything here on the show, but I'm just saying that your lack of energy management can contribute to how much you hold in the body that eventually causes it to break down. Now let's talk about the idea of the spiritual immune system. I want you to think of your energy body, like your spiritual immune system. Just like your physical immune system filters out bacteria and viruses, your energy field filters out emotional toxins, projections, collective noise from everywhere, even from the earth, from the place that we live in here environmentally. There's so much that we are protected from with our spiritual immune system, right? It has one goal: to keep your vibration coherent, which means clear, grounded, and attuned to your soul. That's what your goal is. Being here is to be attuned to your soul. And we stray. We stray so far sometimes, and that's okay. I do too. But the idea of the spiritual immune system is to help you get back into alignment, to back in your health and well-being, but also attuned to your soul. And when the system is strong, you can feel calm and centered, aligned with your truth, who you are, your purpose, your mission, whatever that is, emotionally resilient and intuitively guided. But when it's weak or overloaded, you may experience what I call spiritual inflammation. That's when everything starts to feel too much, too noisy, too fast, too heavy. You have a hard time walking into crowds or malls or places. You're starting to feel like, I'm even more sensitive to lights. I'm more sensitive to smells. I'm on overload. And it's not just emotional, it's physiological, right? So because your nervous system responds to what your energy field is holding, the body, as Joe Dispenza says, the body is the subconscious mind. Every thought, feeling, and vibration that you carry has a biological echo. So yes, your energy hygiene supports your actual health. So daily energy hygiene practices can be very practical. What does energy hygiene even look like, right? So let's discuss that. Here are my favorite daily practices to ground and protect your field. In the morning, before grabbing your phone, I am so guilty of this so many days, but I'm working hard on stopping, picking that phone up the very first thing I do. So before you grab your phone, what energy am I starting with today? Visualize your energy field returning to you, meaning imagine that you're calling it back. Feel your feet on the ground and anchor yourself. Put your feet on the ground and sit up and just anchor yourself and ask, what energy would I like to start with today? And really just imagine you're calling in that energy field of yours. Of course, it's already there, but by visualizing calling it in, you're calling in the light. You're calling in all that's good. You're calling in all your power and strength to come back to you. And just that visual is a high vibrational experience for the field. And there's such thing as aura brushing or light cleansing. You can run your hands just outside your body from head to toe, like you're sweeping away dust that settles around your body, right? So just imagine, maybe you're even imagining a gold light or a violet flame that just clears your field. And cord cutting, I know I talk about it often because it's so powerful. Or return to sender. Close your eyes and say, I release what is not mine with love, no blame, just attachment and clarity. And I return energies that don't belong to me back to sender. I also want to mention that movement in water is so huge. Dance it out, take a salt bath, walk in nature, let your body be part of your energetic reset. So when it comes to water, let's first of all say that your body is made up of, I'm forgetting the percentage. I think it's almost 70%, right, of water. Anyways, we're made of a lot of water. And so what happens when I'm doing healings with people is that we're using a lot of water to move energy. So moving energy in the body actually requires and uses water. And so when we're done with that energy treatment and people's energy has been all moved around and all that good stuff, everybody is always extremely thirsty. So when you're looking to clear your field and do your spiritual hygiene, water is important. Drinking a lot of water is important. And also understand when you do something like take a salt bath, for example, you're doing all sorts of beautiful things for the energy field in that process. Salt is actually a really good cleanser. And in addition, you're also in that hot water, which on a physical level, when that hot water starts to drop temperature, you actually start to sweat. It's only when that temperature goes from really, really hot to less. You don't want to get in water that causes your skin to get red. You don't want it to be too hot or race your heartbeat. But you do want to get in water that's hot enough to tolerate as it gets cooler. Because as it starts to cool down, that's when we sweat. And we instigate that fever-like environment, which is so good for internally for us in terms of pathogens in the body and things like that. So water is such a beautiful thing to work with the body and with the field. And of course, I mentioned nature is so important. Take your shoes off, go ground. Grounding being putting your feet on the ground outside, letting the electromagnetic field of the earth actually recalibrate you. I love to line my back up to a tree, like putting my spine up against a tree. That is a way that I feel totally recalibrated. Let your body be part of that energetic reset. And also morning intention setting is huge. That's what we started with here when I mentioned, don't pick up your phone right away. But by entering your day, by kind of just really, you get your day going, you're on your way to work, or maybe you're driving the kids somewhere, or you're doing something, you're really starting to just create simple pauses to restore your energy, right? Deep breaths, calling in your energy to your body and grounding. Taking deep breaths and just calling your energy back, releasing any, if you're thinking about other people, if you're going over to-do lists, release that, let it go, back to sender, right? Let it go. Bring yourself right back to right here, right now, and just take some deep breaths. Now, deeper cleansing will require a little bit more time, but can give you a really good quick tune-up. Sometimes we need more of a quick tune-up, even after high emotion days. Energetic journaling can be so powerful by asking questions like, what did I take on this week that's not mine to keep? Some of us get those answers in meditation really fairly simple, but a lot of us really do well when we journal. There's something about putting pen to paper. Some of us do type on a computer too, but especially those who do pen to paper, I really highly recommend doing a little of automatic writing where you are taking a moment, you get in your body, you take deep breaths, and then you just kind of imagining that field around you. You might even want to do a shower of light to just clear that field. And then just you ask a question. And you allow that answer to come channeling through you, through your hands, onto paper. And so you could ask, what do I need to learn right now that's really important for me to heal today? What is it that I'm missing? What advice do you have for me in order for me to move forward or for me to heal in some way, right? And so you just ask any question that you want and you just allow that to be channeled through you. It is shocking, you guys. It really is when you start writing that stuff out and you're just kind of doing automatic writing, the beautiful messages come through that you're like, that's not even the words I would ever use. That's not even my language. And so using sound or smoke clearing, some people don't realize, they think I have to have a singing bowl. I love my Tibetan singing bowls. Some people like crystal bowls. I personally do the best with Tibetan bowls, which are the metal bowls. But you can actually clear the energy around you and your field by just using a bell or a chime or something that has a higher pitch sound. That sound vibration clears out the field. You can even cleanse with herbs like sage or cedar or Palo Santo, but bringing in sound or smoke also clears the field around you. You can also sort of do body scans, but use light. So if you've ever heard of a body scan, that's where you sit down and you meditate and you simply go from the top of the body and you're looking to feel any sensations at the top of your head and you work your way down the entire body, down the arms, down the torso, down the legs to the feet, and you are just feeling and sensing each part of your body. But you can do this with light, where you can start to work with light, especially if you are familiar with chakras and you like to work with them. Bringing in light is so powerful. Part of the energy healing that I'm trained in is full spectrum healing, which is using light and color to heal. And so you can bring in different colors when you're doing the body scan and fill that part of your body up with a certain color or light. And that actually starts to truly heal the field as well as your whole energetic being. Touch your heart, put your hands in your heart, breathe, invite flow, invite your feminine energy, right? Allow that masculine energy to take a break for a moment. If you find that you're living in the masculine and you're plowing forward and your to-do list rule your day and you are all about the masculine, like business, take care of things, get it done. And you realize, wow, like I am not in that flow state anymore and I miss it. This is a great thing to check in for your energy field to bring balance of those two energies back in together. They're both important. Digital detoxes, really, really important. Energetic hygiene also means media hygiene. So protect your nervous system by limiting the doom scrolling or exposure to toxic online spaces. This is really hard right now because so many of us are truly caught between I feel absolutely horrible every time I check the news because it's trauma and secondary trauma is a real thing. And we are watching pretty traumatic stuff right now. And this is really difficult for us sensitive people. We are like overwhelmed and overloaded in our system. And then we also feel guilty by packing it up and putting it away because we want to be in the know. We want to understand what's happening. We want to feel like, we're doing something towards it. So we check, but checking actually isn't changing anything by looking. And so we do need to hone that in and look at how can I protect my nervous system and, be in this world right now, still understand and know what's going on, still decide where I'm going to place my energy. Perhaps you have maybe you're an inner advocate or you're an inner activist, and that part of you is like, I'm lighting up right now. I am ready to jump. I'm ready to fight. That is your role. That's what you're supposed to do. And some of us are a little bit less in the front lines. And so that particular type of empath, they're going to have a little bit of a harder time absorbing all this because they don't know what to do with the energy. And so I ask you to just give yourself some boundaries around the digital stuff as best that makes the most sense to you, but really acknowledge that right now. Energy inventories and just asking, where did I abandon myself today to make someone else comfortable? Or this week, right? Maybe you just do an inventory on yourself because that actually does affect your field. Every time you reconnect with yourself, you go inward, right? You calm the body, but you also use the body as an instrument for information. You're recalibrating that intuitive process. You're getting the field open and you are serving the field. So energy protection is not avoidance. So I want to do a quick but important distinction here that energy protection isn't avoidance. You are not building a wall, you're reinforcing your filter. Can you imagine the difference, right? So you're not building a wall that secludes you from the rest of the world. I know some of us need to do that some days, but that's not how you're living your life, right? You do, however, instead of just isolating, you need to reinforce your filter. And part of your spiritual immune system is to have a good filter. You don't have to block the world out. You just need a clean enough field to discern what belongs to you, what doesn't, what you can tolerate in that moment, what you can't, right? What works, what is okay, what isn't, what is in alignment with your purpose, what's in alignment with who you're supposed to be in whatever you're involved in. You're not here to carry everyone's pain. And that's really hard because we feel cold, selfish, and, really off the mark if we are not feeling everyone's pain right now because there's a lot of pain to be felt. But you truly are not here to carry that pain. That is not your job. That's actually why most of us get sick. You're here to transmute and to anchor your compassion, clarity, and light. So you're here to transmute darkness, meaning to take that energy and turn it back into light. Hold as much love and compassion and clarity and light as you can. You carry so much more power in your presence. You just need to make sure you know that it's yours, right? That you know what's yours and what's not yours. Because truly your personal energy is your greatest currency. So we need to spend it wisely. And that's why clean energy is the new self-care. That's where we need to be spending our attention, right? We need to heal the energy and support your body in its natural healing. And that is the new self-care. It's not just, what am I eating? It's not just, did I get outside today and go for a walk? It's also, did I clear my field? Did I release what doesn't belong to me? Did I ground myself and get back in my body after being scattered all over the place all day with my energy? What are you doing for your self-care on a daily basis? So here's your last minute reminder as we're closing up here today. Your energy matters. Your vibration matters. You matter so much. And taking care of your energy field, it isn't just self-care, it's soul care. This is how you connect to your soul mission, get realigned with who you are, what you're here for. It's leadership, it's preparation, it's protection. It's how you stay clear enough to be the light without burning out. And sister, let me tell you, we need your light. We need all of us to be in our light as much as possible. So try just one practice today. Clear your field. Return to center. Let your light be yours again. If this episode resonated at all, send it to another empath that possibly might need this, because we know, let's face it, a lot of us are going through it right now. So if you could share this with somebody to start creating a process for them, that would be amazing, because the more of us in our light is what we need. Or come tell me what you practice. If I haven't mentioned something here on the show today and you want to tell me what you practice, you can even head on over to Instagram, and you can let me know. It's at Michelle Poverman. You can DM me. You can email me, michelle@sageandstone.org. I'd love to know how you're doing out there. And if you want more tools like this, head to the show notes. I do have a beautiful tool there waiting for you, the squeegee, that is all about clearing and releasing what doesn't belong to you. It is such important work. The squeegee itself, I've talked about in this podcast before. It is a free tool that I'm giving out, and it is something you can listen to, and then you learn it for yourself, and you can go out and do it anywhere, anytime, quickly and easily. So until next time, protect your energy, guard your light, and as always, stay in the work. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to Into the Work Therapy for Empaths and Seekers. Don't forget to grab your free gift, your Shadow Work Transformation Bundle, at michellepoverman.com. I've included everything you need to get started to break through the patterns of self-sabotage and finally start to heal the parts of yourself that are getting in the way of truly reaching your potential. From a powerful meditation designed to help you meet and embrace your shadow self, to the guide that's full of curated prompts and important questions to support you on this journey. This really can be the work for you to unmask the root cause of all the issues you've been experiencing, honestly, and start to feel free to believe in yourself and go for what you want. The link for this free bundle is in the show notes. And if you like this episode, I would be so grateful if you could take a moment and rate, click and follow, and leave a review. Of course, you can always follow me on socials at Michelle Poverman. And keep in mind, as you embark on your journey from spark to brilliance, remember, the universe is always conspiring in favor of your awakening. Everything that's happening is in support of you lighting your own fire within. So until we meet again, may your path be well lit and your heart be guided. Shine bright, seekers, until next time.